Hello, everybody, and welcome to NBC's 10 Count. I am Steve Fall. On today's episode, it's very special because I got Buff Bagwell with me. Buff, how you doing today?
Good, brother. What's going on?
Oh my God! I was gonna say quick story. I had a backyard wrestling federation. I think like every other kid did during the Monday Night Wars. And I had a friend. He's like, I want to be Buff Bagwell in the backyard. And I was like, the only way you can be Buff Bagwell is if you do his strut. Right, and I forced my friend Ben, shout out to Ben, to do the strut and the pose. And he got it. And I was like, you can be Buff Bagwell in the backyard wrestling federation. You know, the Steiner brothers and Undertaker, Vader, all going into the Hall of Fame of the WWE. If the WWE ended up calling Buff Bagwell, would you accept the nomination to go into the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely. I disagreed with the idea of going in with the NWO. That's like Brett Favre having all the Green Bay Packers go into his, MVP award. Mm-hmm. It just don't make sense to me. It makes sense to me that Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall maybe would go in under the NWO, but even X-Pac, because that was kind of their boy. Right. He was over. But the rest of us, dude, all we did was go out and do their stuff. 4 Live, Too Sweet, NWO stuff and all that stuff. That was the stuff Kevin and Scott thought of, We just did it to be cool along with Kevin and Scott that invented it. So I'm not going to go in under a team right. for a Hall of Fame ring. But for a Buff Bagwell ring, for my career being the only, and let me say it, if I beg every time on a podcast, I beg somebody, I go, I'm not saying I'm right, but please feel free to contact me and let me know if I'm wrong. And I haven't been proved wrong yet. And that is, I don't know anybody that has 6 world tag team titles with 5 different partners. And everybody says 5 tag team championships, but it's 6, and I can name them all. And it's with 5 different partners. And there's nobody that has that. That's a pretty good award, bro.
Yes. There are people in the Hall of Fame currently that some people are like, I'm sorry, what? But I think Buff Bagwell being nominated and put in would be great. But you did mention teams. Now, currently in the world, people are discovering your tag team, the American Males, with Scotty Riggs. And they are discovering your entrance music. Now, WCW has come up with some hits. We had the NWO, of course, Wolfpack, even right. Paul Orndorff's song when he was Mr. Wonderful. But the American Males seems to be making a resurgence amongst newer fans. How do you feel about this when someone contacts you who, didn't watch you in the ring, but is like, oh, American Males, American Males. People are obsessed with this song.
The sad part is I know the words to it.
That's not sad. It's beautiful.
It's great. And so I actually came out to that for the Game Changers cluster thing pay-per-view. And it was cool. I could just tell it was that kind of crowd.
Yeah.
Because a kid before me that was really good in the ring, I can't remember his name. There's so many new talents now that are all getting popular and getting over, but this guy came out to, we built this city, built this city on rock. Mm-hmm. Well, as soon as I heard that and saw the whole crowd singing, and I said, I'm coming out to the American Male song.
Yeah.
So I go straight to their head guy that calls those plays, those decisions. And I said, dude, I think I should come out to my American Male song. He goes, oh my God. He goes, is Riggs anywhere close? I said, I've got no idea. I thought, I don't know if he's anywhere in sight, or I know he's not here. Mm-hmm. He goes, God, I wish we could have got him here. But he goes, maybe, he goes, even right there, he goes, maybe next year. 12 months away. I'm like, whoa. I said, maybe, all right. But I said, tonight, let's give it a go. Yeah. So we did the American Male song, and I did the whole clap, and everything. And it worked. It was cool, people. And I waited for them to, because it starts off like, ring, ring, da 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 da, you know, like that. And
Yeah.
I waited for them to realize what it was, and then I heard the crowd like, oh, and right when it kind of caught on to it, that's when I came out. You know,
Oh man.
it worked. You know, it was pretty cool. So I think it's great. I think it was a great video. I thought it was a great deal. I came up with the whole idea, but they trusted me with it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to, but I was trying to convince them that you got to realize in my generation, this goatee was a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Facial hair meant bad guy.
Yep.
Chokers and earrings meant bad guys. You know, that was a bad guy. That was a heel thing. And I was trying to show them that, you know, being good looking or being attractive and having a goatee and a dangly cross earring and a choker with a vest and no shirt on was cool. And
very boy band.
Exactly. I felt like that was kind of the generation that was coming. And then what happened right after the American Males? NWO wearing black and trying to be as bad with beards and long hair. Right. That guys, and what were we? We got over as baby faces. So I really think that generation was just time that the black, we tried everything to shove being a bad guy down their throats. Mm. The more we did, the more they loved us.
Well, today people are no longer looking at you as a bad guy. They look at you as an American male. American male. They love that song. They love that song so much. Now, currently in the WWE, there are so many superstars. You mentioned it earlier. There are so many wrestlers, superstars across the entire spectrum. But in the WWE currently, do you have a personal favorite when you tune in to watch? Do you have someone who you're like, man, that person's got it?
I like the kid that goes.
AJ Styles?
No, he goes down and the lights even go up when he does it. It's like he's going.
Oh, Finn Balor?
Yeah.
Yeah, Finn Balor. Yeah.
He lost the U.S. He lost
the U.S. title
to some kid named Theory that's with it. Yeah. I liked him a lot, dude, and I could tell right away. I was like, let me ask you: has Theory been coming out? Was that his first match?
Oh no, he's been involved with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon on TV has handpicked him as a protege. So when you have Vince McMahon, the boss, hanging out with you on TV, because think about the list of people who Vince has been involved with: Austin, Rock, Taker, Triple H, and then suddenly here's Theory. It's immediately the fans look at it as like, boom, stamp of approval.
He had way too much swag and way too much confidence in other words, I instantly went, I'm watching this match. This is going to be, this kid ain't just, waiting in the ring, for the guy who's wrestling and he came out to no music. This kid's throwing hand signals and
selfies. He was doing it all.
Selfie with Vince and all. And I went, this kid's somebody, and then sure enough, he, did some kind of crazy ass move that looked incredible off. Like he jumped through, hit the second rope,
and bounced up.
And DDT'd.
Did a backflip.
God, some kind of backflip DDT thing, man. And I went, man, that kid can work.
Yeah, he definitely can.
Yeah, it was a big deal, and he was very confident. You could to be honest with you, when I first saw him, I went, this kid's going to win tonight. He just had a whole swag about him that was way too confident. I mean, for example, if he would have lost, he would have almost looked stupid. He was so confident. And I know that I wouldn't do that if I was losing. So I know that he wouldn't do that if he was losing. So I went, this kid's doing way too many hand signals stuff and throwing cool things out that I was like, if he don't pull this off, he's going to be buried, kind of not buried, but it wasn't going to look good.
Yes.
And then sure enough, he went over and did all the selfies with Vince and everything. And God dang, brother, I hate to even say this, but it was shocking how bad Vince looked.
Wow.
it shocked me, bro. There's nothing on any video out there in the world that's got me dogging out Vince McMahon. Never would, never will. He is a genius that has run the WWF into the WWE. How can you possibly say anything bad about a billionaire that built the WWF? You can't. But
not on this show.
He looked rough, man, and I hated it. I don't want him to get old because that means I'm getting older.
Time is our enemy, isn't it? Time is our enemy. Let's talk about WCW though, because again, you can watch the entire run of Buff Bagwell on Peacock. It's a great app, but WCW, the company you're working for originally, was purchased by WWE in early 2001.
Yeah.
Now, the idea online seemed to be that Mondays will get say Nitro and like Thursdays would get WWE. So we're still gonna have WCW, but it didn't really happen. Not until July 2nd, 2001, when you and Booker T were booked into a match, and pretty much it was, hey, we're on Raw, but we're also gonna be presenting a WCW match with WCW ropes and referees and commentary teams, and you're out there with Booker T. The end of the night, though, ends up with you being, Booker being tossed out of the building. This was even has an article on WWE.com calling it the most awkward match ever. So explain to me why this whole situation looks messy when you see it on TV.
Well, go the route of this. This is the first thing that you may know, but I doubt it. And that's, do you know where that match was taking place?
No, but I did research on you, and you have mentioned that this match should have been in Atlanta, correct?
Yeah, but the reason why is it was 7 days later.
Okay.
So we force-fed a Tacoma, Washington crowd at a WWF show to watch the first match of the Invasion when we could have waited 7 days and put Buff Bagwell and Booker T at the Phillips Arena in Ted Turner's backyard. Mm-hmm. Now, which one would you do as Vince McMahon?
Well, I would do Atlanta, but at the same time, I guess as a business, is someone really going, okay, we want this WCW thing to succeed? Or is it saying, let's just put it out there, see what our audience thinks of it, and if they like it, we'll continue on. If they don't like it, we're going to twist it and turn it and make it something different. So that could be the cause, I think.
That's the best comeback of that angle I've ever seen. But let me tell you what me and Booker were doing backstage. Okay. We're going, why in the hell, with our mouths covered like this, why in the hell are we wrestling the first match here when Atlanta's next week?
Now, did you know, like say it go back a week ago, did you know at any point in time this match was happening on this date, or were you told, say, Sunday, hey, by the way, get your gear and come to the arena?
We knew that we were at Tacoma.
Yeah.
And we knew that Atlanta was next week, and then all of a sudden they come out and tell us we're main event.
Okay.
And so we start asking each other, why are we not waiting until next week for this? Why not wait for the first match of the Invasion? The thing that was never going to happen, these two companies coming together. Let's give it a fair chance and put it in Ted Turner's backyard and shove it in his face if that's what we're doing. And that's kind of the output of what we were doing. Vince took over WCW, and we were going to shove it in Ted Turner's face. If that's the idea, let's get a WCW crowd to give it a chance and then venture out with it. I'm with you on that, but I don't think out of the gate. I mean, dude, every single person that came out of the curtain got booed. And the next time you watch it back, I told somebody this on a podcast I did a couple of days ago. You can go back a year length of time, and every single match I did, you saw me talking to the camera every single match I was in. I went to the camera and said something like, look at me, I'm looking incredible, I'm Buff, I'm this stuff. I do my dance and point to the camera and all that. Watch the Booker match back, and I don't look in the camera once.
Why did you choose not to look at the camera?
I didn't choose. My music comes on, and I go to walk out, and a hand stops me, and it's Shane. And Shane goes, I forgot to tell you, which is bullshit. I forgot to tell you, but you can't look in the camera. And I go, Shane, have you ever watched one of my matches? I said, that's all I do. I said, brother, that's all I do. I look in the mat, I look in the camera, I do a pose, I do my poses in the camera, I do my strut to the camera. I'm always talking to the camera. That's what I do. That's my gimmick. And he goes, can't do it here. So I'm thrown off my game right off the bat. So I come walking out, and you've never seen me not walk out, do this, go to a knee, and then get up and do the camera, right to the camera. And brother, I'm coming down the ramp going like this, trying to dodge the camera because I've been told I can't do it. Mm-hmm. So I'm out of my game tremendously. So if you watch it back, you'll see that it's the first match in at least a full year, maybe 2, that I didn't look in the camera. And so we were just, it caught me like, being a heel and like dogging people out and pointing at people, because you got to move, man. You got to move to be a talent. I don't care if it's dogging somebody or, doing a strut, doing a pose, whatever it may be. Movement is the key to success. Mm-hmm. And, still and pause and holds, that kills everything. So, Stone Cold comes back to the back, and he tells us what the finish is. He goes, look, during your comeback, Booker, we're going to hit the ring. We're going to jump you. Bagwell's going to jump in, help us. We're going to beat you to the back. We're going to throw you out of the back. Bagwell, you're going to act like you were involved. We're going to cut you off and throw you out the back too. If Stone Cold told you that, what would you do?
Well, you just say, yes, sir.
That's what we did. We said, yes, sir.
Was that a test, you think?
No, it was no. They came to the back, and actually it got kind of ugly a little bit in the back, because Booker kind of, after, think how many times I wrestled Booker T in different tag teams. Mm-hmm. I've wrestled him in every tag team I've been in, and I beat him in every tag team I've been in. He's beat me in every tag team I've been in. So that me and Booker always would wrestle. So me and Booker had incredibly great chemistry. That's why we always made our spots together. And Too Cold and Stevie Ray would always do their spots together, because Stevie was a little bit clumsy, and Booker and Too Cold was a better worker than me. So he was able to work around some of Stevie Ray's, flaws, where me and Booker just went out and tore it down and was right with each other the whole way. And the reverse, the hip tosses and over the ropes and stuff. I mean, we were always just right with each other.
So Booker T was not pleased with this outcome of this match either?
It kind of turned to that at the end. Like I'd done something wrong. I said, whoa, wait a minute, bro. I said, I didn't do nothing wrong. I said, well, let's watch the match back. Every punch I threw looked like I was taking your head off. Mm-hmm. I said, everything we did, I said, the scissor kicks, I was right there, perfect bump. I said, every boot, every punch, every kick, I said, nothing was wrong with that match. I said, but then all of a sudden, Pat Patterson spoke up, and Pat said, you guys y'all guys should not get an argument, because this is our fault. And we were like, what? And he goes, I do the main events for WWF, because that's what we were at the time. WWF. He said, I do the main events for WWF. He says, but Johnny was taking care of the 12 guys that we hired for WCW. And because that's what they did, they hired 12.
Yeah.
And so Johnny thought Pat had done the finish, and Pat had thought Johnny done the finish.
Wow.
Well, really, we just had heard from Stone Cold what to do. And like I said, we did what Stone Cold said so. So we did what Stone Cold said. And really, nobody of authority, we didn't really ever, for the first time in my life, we never went to the finish room. We didn't sit down with a promoter or a booker and go, here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to do this, and we want to paint this kind of picture. And that none of that was talked to with us. So we went out and just did a WCW style match. And supposedly that's why, it was a bad match. And that's why I got fired. That's a bunch of bull crap.
Okay.
It's just, it wasn't a bad match. Even if it was a decent match, do you fire Buff Bagwell over having a decent match after 11 years of having great matches and great tag teams? And
well, let the viewers decide. July 2nd, 2001 episode of Raw. It's the main event. Buff Bagwell, Booker T. You can watch that. For 2013, they did vote the most awkward match ever, which is a very bizarre award. But let's move on. I got two more questions. One question, I just want a simple yes or no, and you can, add a little bit to it, a little bit. People say you don't run your Twitter account.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Because everyone on Twitter is convinced they're detectives. Like, I get the magnifying glass out, like, yes, Buff Bagwell, he does not run his Twitter account.
Yeah, I don't understand. They actually came up with, I got Dallas Page to run it. Like, Dallas Page has time to run my Twitter account.
He does not. I interviewed him, and he does not have time for anything.
I'm at the DDPY crib right now. Dallas don't have time to do that.
No.
He thinks it's cool. Like the other night, I had the fight with Strowman.
Yes.
Even Dallas goes, I know we have some guys help us and stuff. I know you're doing most of your stuff, if not all. He said, but I knew you said this. And he was talking about part of the Strowman thing. And Strowman ends up apologizing to me, which I thought
Twitter loves Buff Bagwell.
Uncle Buff, baby.
Dude, Buff. They love you. You stand up for trans rights. You're on Twitter nailing people with crap they're thrown at you. You whip it twice the size right back at them. So you just own Twitter, and people don't understand why. Well, guess what? He's got the stuff. That's why.
I'm Buff, and I'm the stuff. And
hell yeah, man.
The thing they're trying to go with now is the verification. So
why don't you have it?
I have everything. I have every piece of the resume, and I've even talked to Butterbean, which has a verification in Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And I'm like, bro, what is the deal? Why can't I get it? He goes, bro, I know people. He goes, they're just not giving it out right now. They're not giving the check mark out.
Yeah, I work in a news industry, and there's some people here who are on TV, every single day delivering the news to individuals. And guess what? They can't get it either. One final question, though. What are your goals for this year? Because you just mentioned DDP. I know you have a lot of things going on. So
yeah, I do.
What are your goals for this year?
Health. As you can see, I'm in shape. I feel good. I'm doing the DDPY and all that. But the main thing is to get my knee 100%. It's about 70. And it's just not where I really need it to be to go, like Buff Bagwell goes in the ring. And I mean, my goal would be, of course, my goal is to be a pro wrestler. That's a big goal. Well, my goal is to be back in the ring again. I'm 52. I'm only 52, bro. That's nothing in the world of pro wrestling. And I'm, I got another run left in me. I feel 100% I do. If somebody, and I don't say anybody could even argue that fact of not having another run left in me, and of any way you wanted to use me via headset and commentating or managing somebody and passing the top hat off to them, or God, you can make up so many different storylines with the Buff Bagwell character that it just blows my mind why you wouldn't. I mean, I was at Matt Cardona's podcast the other day, and he all of a sudden Dolph Ziggler walks up and he goes, "Hey man," I go, "Hey," I said, "Man, God, I love you on TV." He goes, "Man, I love you, bro." I said, he goes, "Can I get a picture with you?" I said, "I was wanting to get a picture with you." So he actually came to that podcast just to see me come out. Wow. And so here's a kid I can call him a kid because he's younger than me. Here's a guy that's super cool that I watch on TV, that I see has made it through a lot of years and done great with his career, that is there to see me come out on a podcast he's not even on. So it was really cool to meet him and just see the kind of new respect I've got from a lot of guys. And see that, Buff Bagwell is still got a run left in him. I really do.
Well,
So
Buff Bagwell,
that'd be my ultimate goal.
I believe you do have a second run in you, but thank you so much for being here on NBC's 10 Count. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
I would tip my hat to you, but I am not wearing one. Thank you, sir. Well, folks, I'm Steve Ball. He's Buff Bagwell. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.